backbone of America, and it's still there, make no mistake about it. And granite is composed of specks of gray, black, white. If you look at granite, I've looked at granite. It's up in the Sierra Nevada. I love granite. It's my favorite stone. They are the bedrock, part of the bedrock. The matrix of America was assassinated in South Carolina. No one has said that because no one has the duende that I have in radio. Make no mistake about it. Nobody understands what actually happened in the terms of on a spiritual level. This is a spiritual assassination of the heart of America, the granite of America, the backbone of America, any way you want to put it. And we are all affected by it. We're all weakened by these murders. This is not about guns. This is about something much more diabolical than guns. It's about the death of a nation's soul. A nation's soul that has been hollowed out by the very people Obama is meeting with in Beverly Hills. Jeffrey Katzenberg. Yes, they've done an awful lot of good for America. I know. They produce great entertainment. Every other day, it's another gay or lesbian theme or a transgendered theme or an anti-American theme or a mocking Christian theme. Oh, they've done great work. And they've laughed all the way to their 400-foot yacht. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. And that's who he chooses to dine with after the Charleston shooting. He may as well have had dinner with the video game manufacturers. It would have had about the same kind of embarrassment for me. So I got an email. What does it mean to be an American from an outsider? You know, I'm running the scholarship program, and we picked 5 winners who will be announced on July 2nd, which is coming up so fast. And these 5 winners are going to win $20,000 apiece, which is a lot of money for them. I got an essay today. It's not an entry. You got to hear this one. He says, I've had a long relationship with the USA ever since. He said, this is not an application because it ended. He said, but I wanted to send this to you of what it means to be an American from an outsider's point of view. He said, I've had a long relationship with the USA. Ever since I was a child, I've watched cartoons, listened to music, seen your movies on the big screen as well as on the silver screen. I felt both animosity and kinship towards the brother in the West. Without the intervention during World War II, we in Sweden would all be either Nazis or under communist rule. Now we are part of the democratic world with free speech and the rule of law, not despots. For all this, we thank you, Americans. But it is obvious both for you, Michael, and for me that America of today is on the wrong path. A path of control, elitism, and the destruction of liberties. As a believer in individual rights, I observe the decline of your formerly supreme values. The chimes of freedom that once rang strong for all the world to hear now seem replaced by police brutality, Obamacare, open borders, and a rapid influx of totalitarian doctrines, be it socialism, Islamism, or fascism. It all holds a promise of disaster in its hands. But the politics of a semi-totalitarian state rarely has anything to say about the people of the nation. He writes, I would be ignorant if I believed that this dark vision is a vision of the true American. I have seen him, the powerful father, the patriarch. I have met her, the strong mother, the guardian. I've seen them work hard to build a life, separate from the state, without dependence on any higher power but the good Lord. I see how they struggle hard to maintain their independence from the state. I see how it is getting increasingly hard to maintain this independence. I see the snake of totalitarianism slithering up behind their backs. Socialized health care, mass immigration, high taxation, federalized education. It seems that it is no longer Europe that mimics the states, but the other way around. And it breaks my heart. But back to the topic, Michael Savage. What does it mean to be an American today? It means that you need to stand up and fight this adaptation to the old world. A world some of my own ancestors fled in order to escape the dominance of the government. Oh, how it grieves me to see you on the same path as Europe. I cry for the true American who is witnessing this firsthand. I cry for you all. As a true American, please hold on to your guns and values. Free yourself from the bondage of politicians. Read your Constitution and understand it. Listen to the words of your founding fathers and understand that the bonds they ripped apart are once again gripping your wrists, pulling you back to the oppression from which your ancestors once escaped. A true American believes in freedom. I know you can once again be that beacon of hope that used to shine so brightly. Just reach for a lantern and a match. Light it up and you will lead the way again, like so many times before. That came to me today. I got chills up my spine. This is a brilliant essay. And he wasn't applying for the scholarship. And he's from Sweden. And he sees what's going on in this country today. And I thought it was so well put that I read it on the Savage Nation. There is a cartoonist named Diaz, Dixon Diaz, and he was just dropped by the LA Times. And he writes little 3 squares in a row, Boombox by Dixon Diaz. Now picture 3 panels in a row, 2 little characters. And one of them says, there's a super PAC called Ready for Hillary. The second panel says, what exactly does it mean to be ready for Hillary? And the third panel says, it's like being ready for a prostate exam that will last for 8 years. And the little character says, ouch. The next one in the Boombox by Dixon Diaz, picture 3 panels left to right. Left panel, two little figures next to a tree. One asks, why are Democrats so afraid of the Tea Party? Next panel, because they want the government to obey the Constitution. Next panel, is that like asking atheists to obey the 10 Commandments? Worse. Let's see. I'll read the next one from this cartoonist. Here's one. Some of them are not radio ready. Here's one. Why are liberals so hot for gun control laws? Any fool knows that criminals don't obey laws. The other character says because it has the word control in it. Here's the last one from Dixon Diaz. 3 panels left to right. Obama called the Constitution an outdated and deeply flawed document. Panel 2. Didn't he take an oath to uphold the Constitution? Panel 3. He must have thought the word was hold up. I'll be right back. I'm Michael Savage.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUY-COIN. What do you blame for this assassination of these 9 beautiful souls in South Carolina? A lot of blame to go around. Then he lies, the president, saying mass killings are not common in Europe. Really? He doesn't remember Charles Hebdo by the Muslims? 2 gunmen entered the office of a satirical magazine in France and murdered 11 people and injured 11 more. And then in a marketplace catering to Jews, another 5 were murdered. I guess he doesn't know that that's in Europe. I guess he doesn't know France is part of Europe. Oh, we know France is allegedly an advanced country, isn't it? I guess he didn't attend the anti-terror rally in Paris because he didn't want to acknowledge that the terror was conducted by Muslims who we won't even mention, right? Remember, every other leader of the world was in Paris in solidarity with the Parisians after the murder of the Jews and the cartoonists, except your leader, the golfer, wouldn't go because then he would have to admit it was done by Muslims. I guess that's why he says that such slaughter doesn't occur in other countries. Guess he got his head in the sand. What do you think about that one? Karen on WABC in New York. Go ahead. You're on the Savage Nation.
Dr. Savage, I am disgusted and sick to my stomach over this man. He is a liar. He is the Antichrist in person.
I take it you wouldn't vote for him again if he ran.
29-year-old son sat here while we watched this, and he's saying, do they not see that this guy is evil? He is.
All right, I get it. I feel the same way. I've said it every day. Lying about Europe, that there's no violence. And I just reminded everyone about the Hebdo murders, which he didn't even go to the anti-terror rally. And then with a crocodile tear, then he rushes off to Hollywood to dine with Katzenberg and Spielberg. How much more cynical does it get?
Loser and a wannabe, and so is his. I don't even want to. We don't even say their names in our house.
Why is it that his wife and children are allowed to fly around on the public dime on a shopping binge in Rome? Why is there no comment on this?
It's the whole generation of entitlement, and it makes me sick to my stomach because I told my kids they wanted.
He is abusing his privilege as president. He is golfing as I speak. He's golfing in the middle of this tragedy, in the middle of a drought in California. He's on a golf course. You hear this?
He has this golf course in the backyard. He brags about it all the time.
All right, so you don't like Obama. Who do you blame for the shootings in South Carolina? Certainly not him.
Minions and George Soros and the people that instigate. Forget the other supposed. I can't even say.
All right, so you don't blame any of them. All right. Listen, I'm going to send you Countdown to Mecca for Father's Day. Is there a man in the house?
That poor cop lost.
Is there a man in the house? Karen, is there a man in your house?
Yeah, my husband was a boxer, and he is mentally incompetent now.
All right, well, then I can't send you Countdown to Mecca because it's not written for mental incompetence.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. 855-407-28. I'm sorry. He was a boxer. Now he's mentally incompetent. There's no joke in that one. The bubbles build up, and eventually the poor guy is punch drunk. Terrible sport. I watch these guys beat each other up. I don't know how they can handle age 50, let alone age 40. But, you know, some men love the warrior life. They love fighting almost to the death. It does something for them. And some of us like to sit here and try to save the country one day at a time verbally. And in some ways, we're considered verbal warriors. Not quite the same as putting yourself on the front lines as a cop, nor on the front lines in Syria or Iraq or Afghanistan. We get it. There's no bullets flying. But don't fool yourself. This takes a heavy toll on those of us who do this. And I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, it may seem easier than it is to not miss a beat, to say things correctly, to make a point, and to move millions of people. And I want to thank you for listening to this show so religiously. Remember, Father's Day is this Sunday. And don't you dare forget your husband or your father. And I want you to send them Countdown to Mecca. You can get it in the bookstore. I love this novel. I wrote it.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Gospel music all day today, sort of in a memory for these 9 dead souls killed by this ghoul, this monster. I don't know if you've ever been in a all-black church where gospel music is played. I have. I've never forgotten it as long as I live. I never will forget it. They're the bedrock of the African-American community, and their heart was cut out by this monster. Their heart was just ripped out by this monster. And so who do you blame? Oh, there's a lot of blame to go around. A lot of blame. Let's start with liberalism, which has stripped America of right from wrong. Remember the 10 Commandments used to be in the schools? Can you believe that? Do you know that when I was a kid, there used to be the 10 Commandments in a public school? Thou shalt not kill. At least it told you right from wrong. Red light, green light. No more. Hey, you're born a boy, you want to be a girl? Go ahead, go for it. That's not amoral. In fact, anyone who criticizes it is a bigot. That's liberalism. You don't think it has ramifications, do you? Well, it does, damn it. Don't tell me I don't see it for what it is. And the hatred being imposed upon the people in this country by this criminal government, flooding America with criminals, rapists, murderers, thieves. You think it isn't affecting people and driving them crazy? You think because that phony, that fundraising fraud smiles so much, it's not affecting tens of millions of people who are ready to snap? Oh, there's a lot of blame to go around. You can point your fingers at the Confederate flag. You can point your fingers at the apartheid patches. I never heard of them. I don't know where he got them from. I have no idea. You can point your fingers at the AMA who dispensed drugs like Kool-Aid. You can point your fingers at the father who gave this kid a gun. You can point it at anyone you want. But at the core of it, it's the hollowing out of America's soul by the disease, the mental illness that Hillary Clinton represents called liberalism. And make no mistake about it, she's marching with the liberal flag, defending illegals who are overrunning our every institution. Meanwhile, in Europe, they're building walls. In Europe, they're saying no more. In Europe, they're saying get them the hell out of here. In Europe, they're saying we still have a border, a language, and a culture, and they can go to hell. That's what they're doing in Europe. Liberal Europe that Obama refers to every day in every way. Oh, there's no shootings like this in Europe. There aren't? Oh, no, there aren't, huh? What about happened up in Norway a few years ago? You forgot that one? When that guy went insane and killed all those kids at a camp? You remember that tragedy? Oh, it happens in Europe. Oh, it happens in Europe, Mr. Obama. But right now, the Europeans have had enough of being overrun by Muslims, by Africans. They don't want it anymore. They're losing their identity, and they don't want it, and they're fighting back. Central European states are fighting back. They're fighting against the corrupt, degenerate European Union. Record gains for anti-immigrant party and Danish vote. Top of the Drudge Report. Greek island swamped by refugees. Mexico now deporting more immigrants than the USA. How come Mexico, which dumps their garbage on us, how come Mexico doesn't want immigrants from Guatemala? Why?